today's episode of the Innomate podcast, we are talking about the interconnection of the human body with plant power and how we can make plant power useful to our energy system and to our health. If you want to know more about that, please keep listening. Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Innomate podcast. I'm your host who loves you most from the east to the west coast. My name is Dietmar Rösler. I am a general physician and I'm specialized in nutrition and sports medicine. And today's guest is Magister Barbara Kocher, or Kocher if you want. She will talk about the power of plant vitamins and how plant vitamins can be useful to our body and how they can be made useful to our body. Dear Babsi, can you tell us a little bit about our connection and about your job? What are you doing? What's your profession? And what's your daily job look like?
First of all, hi Didi, hi everyone. Thanks for having me here today. Yes, my name is Barbara. I'm a nutritionist and I've been working on the development and production of botanical vitamins in the middle of Salzburg in Austria. And our aim was to find that connection of plants and humans and to actually benefit from nature to provide everything we need to our bodies to make them run smoothly again.
May I tell you a story? Because when I was a student, when I was like 21 or so, I moved into another apartment, and in this apartment I found an old dead plant. Mm-hmm. It was a remainder of my colleague who lived in the room before, and I didn't really care for this plant. Mm-hmm. But after 2 or 3 weeks, the plant started to come to life again, without me doing anything to really help it. So I didn't water it. I didn't even recognize it that much. But 3 weeks later, I saw there were green leaves sprouting out of this plant without help of me, just because I was there. And then this was the first time when I thought that maybe there might be a connection between the human organism and plants. So we're different species, of course, but there is a connection there. And maybe you can tell our listeners and viewers how you think that this connection might translate into our health system.
What a great story. And I totally agree that there is a connection between plants and humans. And what you saw back then when you moved in that apartment is that very special connection of plants and humans. And that's basically the beginning of when the founder of our company, Norbert Fuchs, when he started to dig deeper into this issue, into this matter, and try to figure out how plants affect us, how we affect them, and how we can benefit from each other. So that was basically his vision back then. Maybe just to provide some insights, he is a pharmacist, and he has that really great biochemical knowledge as well. So what he knew from the beginning was, the plant cell and the human cell, they're made up of basically the same things, the same tools. Mm-hmm. And the plant has that one huge advantage. Like whenever it needs nutrients, it just builds them up itself. So that's
which
something
we don't really do as a human.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's why nutrients are essential in our daily nutrition, and that's why we take them on a daily basis. And the plant can do that for us. So just if you close your eyes and picture this really great green nature scenery in the middle of Salzburg, lots of mountains and spring water, and Norbert grew. Yeah. And Norbert, he grew up there. So he had that knowledge of a pharmacist, and he's always felt that connection to nature because he grew up in the middle of nature. And that's basically why he wanted to connect the dots and benefit from the plants. So he realized, that the organisms, human and plant, they work similar. So why not benefit from them? And he was looking for ways of, instead of synthetic nutrients that are of course available, to find that botanical alternative. And that's when he started to work on something called pan-mol raw materials. That was, kind of like the birthplace, the birth date of those plant nutrients, botanical nutrients.
How long does it date back when he found about that and when he thought about that first? It must be years, maybe decades.
Exactly. It took him a really long time. So he started thinking about finding botanical nutrient solutions in the early 1980s.
Oh.
Yeah. And he did the basic field trials. He put nutrients in a soil and he made plants grow there. Then he analyzed them and just checked if they took up anything of the nutrients and how much and all that kind of stuff. But those trials, they weren't satisfying for him. So at one point, he just realized that there's one very specific time in the lifespan of a plant when it needs the highest density of nutrients. And it's basically the same as we humans do. It's when they want to grow. Right, childhood. Yeah. It's the childhood of a plant.
Yeah.
When it starts to grow, when it starts to germinate. So he started trying to take wheat and all kinds of cereals, of grains, and just the corn, and soaked it in a nutrient solution, and then he made that corn germinate. And
genius.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's a really great idea, and it took him a couple of more years to get to that patented process that's being used right now, but actually that's the core of the process. He takes quinoa, or we in Austria, and on our production site, we take quinoa because after years we realized that quinoa shows the highest affinity to nutrients. So we take organic or quinoa from organic cultivation, we soak it in a nutrient solution, for example, a B vitamin complex. And then we have those machines specifically designed and built for us. They look like huge washing machines, basically. Germination drums is what we call them. And we make that quinoa corn germinate. And during that germination process, something really crucial happens. The quinoa takes up the nutrients from the solution, incorporates them into its cells, and it also organically binds them. And then in the end, what you get is that nutrient, that plant matrix with a really high nutrient density, but also with all of the benefits the plant additionally has to offer compared to isolated vitamins.
So that's why, because I read a study where it was connected with the synthetically produced B vitamins, and you could see that it works better in humans. So exactly, it was shown that it could lower homocysteine pretty good, and the homocysteine is a marker for many diseases, and I always look after the homocysteine levels in my patients.
Okay.
And because homocysteine shows that this patient is deficient in B vitamins. He has, or she, the patient, has high risk of cardiovascular disease, neurodegenerative diseases, but also psychiatric diseases. So pretty big problems occur if you are deficient in B vitamins, and we could see, or the study could show that the plant-derived B vitamins could lower the homocysteine better than the synthetic ones, which is great because even in low doses. So maybe the cause of that is that there are not only the end products, but also the precursor products, like the pre-vitamins, so to say. Like if you have a team of soccer players or of baseball players, a great team always has a great next gen. So the first team, they are the best maybe, but the first team is better if there is a good next gen that can be brought up to the first team. So that makes a good team a great team, right?
Yeah, that's right. I know that study too, and it's a great one.
Of course, you know a study.
Yeah, and what I think, you just mentioned that with that team play, I mean, especially B vitamins, they're kind of like hand-in-hand workers. They need each other. And that would be kind of like the team you just mentioned. But what else does a great team need? It needs a great coach. It needs a lot of people taking care of them. You know, there's a lot more than just those people out there on the field. And that's what the quinoa can actually offer, because it does not only come along with the B vitamins. It has polyphenols, it has spermidine, and lots of other secondary plant ingredients being very beneficial to the function of the B vitamins. And I love that study as well, because you can see there's that kind of well-known combination of B6, B9, B12 that you usually recommend when people are having high homocysteine levels. And you already said you definitely want to keep them low.
Yes, very as low as possible. For as long as possible.
Right. But then in that study you had like really huge amounts of B6, B9, B12. Like, I can't recall exactly, but I think 1,000 micrograms B12 or something like that. Like a lot. And then on the opposite, you have that physiological dosages of the B complex. So that's just because there's maybe 1/10 or 1/100th of that huge amount, and it's already effective. And why is that? Because the B vitamins, they really need each other. They don't function well on their own. So they need each other to support them. There's lots of very complex metabolic processes happening in our bodies. And you can be sure that there's one B vitamin, at least one, involved in each single step.
Yeah. So there is not one patient in like 12 years of treatment that I treated without any B vitamins. It's nearly, I think it's impossible to treat a patient well without giving him the right connection of B vitamins, and they work as a team, and I always give the B complex. Yeah. So you brought something. We can look at it. If you have the YouTube channel, you can see it. Otherwise, we have to describe it now. With here some, what is it? That's
the quinoa, the germinated one. So that's why it's bright yellow, because it's been soaked in that B vitamin solution, which is usually yellow. And then there's that finished palm B complex. So you can see and actually smell and taste it. It looks like, or it is like quinoa flour, so you can easily use it. Yeah. So if you just describe it, the one is a little bit more yellow, and the other one is like really like a flour you can buy, and we can taste it. It has that great nutty taste.
Yes, it does.
So it works awesome in all kinds of supplement dosage forms, but also in food, which is actually something we're trying to focus on, because we want to make it accessible to basically everyone. Yeah. You just said actually that B vitamins are kind of like the foundation of your body. So without B vitamins, you can't break down what you eat. You can't break down those fats, the carbohydrates, the proteins. You need B vitamins to actually
produce
get energy out of your food that you're taking in. Yeah. So the energy, actually is useful for your body, of course. So this is something really foundational, if you want to say it like that. So we also want the B vitamins to be very easily accessible, which is why we thought, why not use it kind of like a spice in food? You just smelled it, maybe you want to taste it afterwards. It has that really great nutty taste. And, you did?
My children did already, and they didn't realize that it was healthy.
Yeah, that's the great thing about it, right?
Yeah.
You can basically just put it in their yogurt or in their soup or whatever you're usually cooking at home, and knowing that they're getting something really healthy and useful. Yes. Yeah.
So teamwork makes the dream work.
Definitely, especially when talking about B vitamins.
Great. Yeah. So let's wrap it up here, I guess. Thank you for listening, and see you next time on the East or on the West Coast, or even in Europe. Thanks, Barbara, for being here and talking about your passion for plant vitamins. Thank you.
If you enjoy our channel, please give it a like, subscribe, and share it with your friends and family. The recommendations in this podcast are based on the latest research in nutrition and sports medicine. However, they are not a substitute for medical advice in cases of illness. If in doubt, please consult a qualified nutritionist or holistic medicine practitioner.